We continue to follow breaking news out of Vaughan. 2 people dead in an apparent double murder. We're going to bring you to a live shot of the scene right now, and this is at Castle Point Drive in the Martin Grove and Highway 27 area. As you can see, quite a bit of activity remains here. Police called around 12:45 this morning, reports of gunshots. Once there, York Regional Police say they discovered the bodies of 2 adults, reportedly a man and a woman. So far not releasing much more detail outside of that, and no word yet on any possible arrests or suspect descriptions. But this is a developing story. We'll continue to follow this scene throughout the morning. And another story that we're following at this hour, Peel Police investigating a suspected carjacking in Brampton that has led to 1 death and several serious injuries. Right now, a suspect is in custody, but reportedly among the injured. Now, the scene at Steeles and McLaughlin in Brampton, where 1 man was pronounced dead in a multi-vehicle crash, a 2nd man suffering serious injuries, and it appears the suspect fled the scene in a vehicle. We're trying to piece this one all together right now, and we're joined by our Tammy Sutherland, who's at the scene at Steeles and McLaughlin, where it still remains blocked off. All of these intersections do. Tammy, what can you tell us?
That's right. They're all closed for this very complicated, a bizarre investigation here this morning. So here at Steeles and McLaughlin, this is where things started. It was about 1 o'clock this morning that there was a 3-car crash here near the intersection. 1 man was pronounced dead and another man was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. Now, it's believed that a suspect may have taken a car from this crash and then continued on Steeles, where a pedestrian was hit by a vehicle at Kipling. This man in his 20s taken to hospital with critical injuries, and that was about 20 minutes after the initial crash. Now, just a few minutes later, down at Weston Road and Steeles, another incident there. This time, the suspect was arrested, but also taken to hospital with serious injuries. We're still trying to confirm exactly what the nature of his injuries are. It initially came through as another pedestrian that was struck there at the intersection, but it sounds as if that may not be the case. We're looking to see if we can get some more information from Peel Police. We do know that the SIU has been notified, but they haven't invoked their mandate yet to take over this investigation. So Peel Police officers are still here at this scene this morning. They also have a drone that is going up as well in the area, just mapping out the scene. They're asking for anyone who may have information to give them a call. In the meantime, all 3 of those intersections still remain closed for the investigation. Here at Steeles and McLaughlin, Steeles is closed in both directions between McLaughlin and here, Ontario. Mel, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Tammy, thank you for that update. Well, this Canada Day long weekend, it's going to be a hot and sticky one, as Frank's been telling you, and we are now under a heat warning. Toronto Public Health says they are likely to bump that up to an extreme heat warning. So that means the cooling centers at municipal offices will be open around the clock, city shelters remaining open throughout the day, as well as outreach teams will be trying to help the homeless deal with the heat, and the outdoor pools, which you see here, are set to open up today. Now, you can bet that those air conditioners, those fans, they will be working on OT this weekend. Of course, that puts a major strain on our grid. Tori Gass now joins us on the phone from Toronto Hydro with what they're doing to prepare. It's going to be a hot one. Good morning to you, Tori.
Good morning, Melanie.
Okay, so no doubt, yes, those air conditioners will be pumping. Are you prepared for this on the grid right now?
We have been doing some preparations, definitely. We know it's going to be so hot. People are going to need their air conditioning, and we're getting ready for that. So we actually have been doing a little bit of preparing, going around and checking the grid however we can. But we've also got extra staff on hand to come in this weekend and extra on standby as well in case there are any issues. We are ready for this, but as we've been hearing, this is going to be potentially some record-breaking heat. This is going to be a scorcher, so it is possible that we could see some effects on the grid. The heat can impact it significantly, but we are ready, and we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that we can keep everything up and running so that people can stay cool this weekend.
And Tori, do you have any advice for residents? So if, let's say, their power, they are affected by an outage, which we could see, what do you recommend to them?
Try to stay cool as best as you can. So if there are any power outages this weekend, there are still ways to stay comfortable. So one of the biggest tips is just keep your blinds closed. The sun can actually really heat up the inside of your home. So keep your blinds closed, and that'll keep the temperature down. Other than that, the Toronto Public Health, they are considering opening up the cooling stations. You could go somewhere else, even just the library or the mall, something like that. But we're hoping that it's not going to be too bad this weekend, but we are going to have a few days of really high heat. If the temperature can go down a little bit in the evening, if we see that will give it a little bit of a break. But other than that, we're ready to go, and we're going to try and keep everybody cool this weekend.
All right, Tori, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Stay cool. All right, we want to show you some dramatic video now emerging from Niagara Falls after some tourists witnessed a frightening water rescue. Have a look at this. Cheers from the crowd as the struggling man clinging to a flotation device safely pulled aboard a passing boat. This happened around 6:30 last night on the Canadian side of the falls. Right now, it's not clear how the man got into the water in the first place. Witnesses say the man had been struggling in the water for several minutes, and the high waves made it difficult for rescuers. It is 9 minutes after 6. We're going to take a quick break here. You're watching BT.